Hey everyone, today I'm doing the blush tag now. I first saw this from Cora from vintageortacky, so if you're interested in what my favorite blushes are based on this list, keep on watching. So first up is the best packaging. Now I've got 3 because I love packaging and it was also something I wanted to do as a graphic designer, but there's very few jobs that actually dedicated to packaging as a whole. So my first pick is one of the probably the oldest one out of the 3 that I have, and it's the Milani Bella blushes, or just powder blushes with the rose one. So as you can see here, actually it might be easier if I open up the container. But the packaging has this embossed rose shape for the actual product, and it's actually very good. The formula is very silky and slightly waxy. But overall, yeah, I really do like this one, and the fact that it's got some weight to it as well, so it's not this flimsy compact, and the lid is quite sturdy as well as quite thick. Next I have 2 of the Clinique Cheek Pop shades, and I'm opening these up right now. So yeah, I've got 2 very similar shades right now. I had also a plum, but that didn't look too good on me. But anyways, these are the daisy, I think they're daisies, yeah, the Clinique Daisy embossing. Again, Milani did it first, but I really do appreciate the texture, and yeah, these are really nice too. So packaging wise, again, still that substantial, compact with a thicker lid. So that good packaging on New Clinique as well. And my third pick is just for the very girly packaging that it is. This brand, I actually didn't particularly like the packaging in the beginning years with it because it was just a little too much. I think they kind of hit their stride, and that is Too Faced. So they have these heart packages. So honestly, out of all my blushes, this is the easiest one to pick up. It's like, oh, where's the heart ones? I know exactly which one I'm looking for. So I've got this one in Love Hangover, which is their Love Flush. And I also have this wardrobe that they put together, which again, it's actually pretty good overall. So you get this really long mirror, and you can see my filming equipment there. Anyways, but it's all the blushes put into this wardrobe, and there's just enough space between the blushes so you can swipe your brush vertically without mixing the colors too much. So yeah, it's really nice, lightweight, and really cute artwork again on the packaging. So next question was Prettiest Color, and this one's very hard, but I decided to just pick one. Prettiest Color to me is something that does a lot. And in this case, it's actually not a blush at all. It is actually an eyeshadow, and that's Kitten Parade from Sugar Pill. The shade is amazing. It's just amazing, and I'm actually going to swatch it here, but it's very, very light pink with strong gold, but the pink base to it is very blue base, so it has a very striking contrast. So you can see the gold sheen on your skin very prominently against the blue base, which ends up looking like a flush on the face. I've used this a few times for cosplays and my one makeup tutorial with the Pantone universe. So it's not the most pigmented blush, it's not the most drastic color I have, but it just seems to work so well. When I'm indecisive about something, I just end up putting this on. Now next up I have the most pigmented blush, and again, I just can't pick one because I've got 3 that I think really fits the bill. And the first one is relatively new formula, which is the Balm in Stain. Bring it backwards, and it's got this mirror, and they're shadows. These blushes are very pigmented, but they're very easy to blend out. Like this one is the one I picked out of all the shades because it's got kind of like this berry tone. Again, I've got a scar on my hand, so it's sticking to it, but overall these blushes really, they're not quite staining, but they have such strong pigmentation that they linger longer on top of your product or your skin, so they have the best color payoff for the longest duration of time. Next I have a couple of shades of NARS's blush. I think it's just called blush, there's no special name for the product. So I have Exhibit A, which is, oh, this is intense. Like, this is not a shade I can use on my skin tone, but I still like having it just in case there's someone that needs a little more pick-me-up. But again, it reads very orange on me, but a little goes a long way, and it just sinks into the skin so nicely. And the other one I have, which I'm probably going to end up mentioning again later, is NARS Torrid, which is this strawberry pink? Yeah, I'll call it that, with the gold sheen. Again, this has got, it's not quite as pigmented, but the pigmentation really buffs in and lingers on the skin, so that's the reason why I like this one. So my last pick for the most pigmented is also the one I compare all other blushes that I try out to, and that's Femme's blushes. So I've had these for many years. They're incredibly pigmented, but they're so smooth as well. So they've got the best of both worlds. So if I had to pick one, it's going to be this shade Terracotta, which is this amazing coral pink. Look, seriously? And again, it just buffs out so nicely on the skin. Now, that's a little too heavy-handed. These are incredibly pigmented, so I use a much more lighter, fluffier brush when I'm applying it to my fair skin. Or dual fiber, that works too. But again, these are amazing. Like, that is sick color. And I would actually even be able to use this as eyeshadow, no issues. Like, that's intense color. So yeah, it might be too pigmented for most people. I just love it because I know that when I place it down on my skin or someone else's skin, it's gonna last the day, unless everything on your face is gonna melt off. So you don't want that happening. But yeah, these do the job. My only other complaint is they don't have really light shades. Like, this is the lightest one, and that is extremely pigmented and bright. And throw one more on there. So yeah, these are very concentrated, very smooth to work with. You just need to use a light hand. So this is not easy makeup to work with, but I like having the control over my products. So next up is the Everyday Blush. Now I kind of got two because, let's face it, you might want to lean a little cooler, you might want to lean a little warmer, but more neutral is what you're trying to get at without it looking too muddy on a fair-skinned girl like me. So my first cooler tone leaning is actually Tea Rose from Milani, which is, again, amazing. Like, this one needs a little bit of a lighter hand because, again, it is good pigmentation, but when you buff it up very, very lightly and not on wet skin, which I have right now, it is just a very nice rosy but still cool tone blush. The other choice I have is actually ColourPop, sorry, Birthday Suit, which is this cream goodness of a blush, and I think everyone can wear this shade. It leans a little bit warmer, but it has a more of a dusty pink, so I'm swatching this a little bit heavier so you can see it on the skin, but yeah, this I can buff out really nicely. It also has a very nice formula to work into your foundation or skin, but it just gives you kind of a healthy flush without it looking, I would say this is more of a neutral choice for me. Next question was the party blush, so I guess it's whatever you feel like is appropriate for a party. Now me, I like to go more vibrant when I can without it going too neon. So my choice is Tarte's Tipsy, which is this beautiful coral pink, and yeah, it is intense, I'm not gonna lie. So a little goes a long way again, but it's just, like, look at that. That shade is so good. So good on so many levels, so yeah. I like this shade a lot, just sparingly again because I'm so fair, but this would look amazing on so many different skin tones as well. So next are the blush that you regret purchasing, and I've got, well, two brands, and actually one of them is NARS again. Even though I love the other two, NARS Orgasm and Super Orgasm. Oh, I wanted to love those shades so much, but honestly, Orgasm, the more I tried to build up the pink tone, the more frosty gold it looked on my skin, so it wasn't really reading properly. So I ended up like some really gold highlights, but very, very, very almost indiscernible pink tones. And Super Orgasm, it had a better pink base, but the gold shimmer was so large, it was just like, you know, I put glitter on my cheeks, so I didn't like those two for those reasons. The other one, which really makes me sad because, again, I tried many years to love these products, and it's actually Benefit's box blushes. They're too easy for me. They're way too easy for me. I like to be able to control a little bit of the pigmentation, but it only goes on like one note, and that just annoyed me to death. It was really pretty, but again, I like to have a little more control of my blushes, so that was the most disappointing purchases I made, and all those blushes went to a different home. I didn't throw them out. They went somewhere else. I wasn't touching them, and I was like, I can't look at these things anymore. Time to go home with someone else. So next up is the least used, and surprisingly, again, it's another color from the same family, and that's the Milani Tea Rose. This sort of like nudie pink ends up looking, I don't want to say dirty, but it just ends up Alright, let's just go swatch it just to prove my point here. Like, I'm building it up, but it ends up... It doesn't look natural on me, let's put it that way. The shade is... you can see it, but it ends up almost too brown for me, because I'm so fair. The more... Not muddy, just too neutral for me. It doesn't look like a blush at all. It just looks like I've got, you know, some discoloration going on my face, which is not a good look. It's like the same thing with bronzers. I have problems with bronzers, definitely, because it all looks like I had a fake bake or something like that. But I also have two more, and it started this weird sort of family that initially I loved, and I'm just not reaching for them anymore. And this is sort of like shimmery, pinky, gold, kind of frosty shades, and this is Lou-manizer. There we go, Lou-manizer, and this is Teasecake. Now I could potentially use these as a highlighter, but this is sort of weird family where it could be a blush, and it might not look like a blush. But again, like this one's reading a little too, turn my hand around, too gold and too orange, and Teasecake, again, it's a very frosty sort of highlighter. It's just too pink to be using as a highlighter on my skin without it looking like, I know I put shimmer. This one's a little more wearable, Teasecake, but again, it's like, it's close, but it reads too warm and too weird on my skin tone, so that's the reason why they're my least used, but I still have them just because they are pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I'm keeping them just because they're pretty. So my next choice was for most used and would never let go, and I've got two, again, because, you know, warm and cool tone thing started going on, but again, NARS Torrid. It's just this beautiful, natural flush look for my skin. It has that same sort of tonal value, so I really do like this one. And the other choice, you could buy this individually, but I have it in this Face Form palette, which is this rose gold shade from Sleek. There we go. So this shade is everything that I had hoped NARS Orgasm would be like, so... Like, that's a very intense swatch, but I love the fact I can just sheer it out, and that pink tone is very prevalent without being too harsh, and the gold seems to marry beautifully within it, so it's not overpowering like I found Orgasm to be. So favorite blush brand, I technically already answered that with the most pigmented one, and it's Femme. So yeah, these shades are amazeballs. Price point, when I bought them, they're only $2. I think they've increased in price, but dude, like, so much goodness for like just under $3, I think it is now, for an individual blush. So yeah, check them out. There's lots of swatches online. I still haven't swatched these for my blog, but I promise I will eventually. But yeah, just here. Let's swatch some of my shades here. This red, oh, yes. And this peach. Like, it's so good. The pigmentation is so good on these. And they blend out beautifully, so yeah. Again, you can use these as eyeshadows as well. I forgot which order I put these on, but anyways. Yeah, my hand's a little wet, so this one's kind of skipping the red, but with a soft stippling brush, that will look amazing on your skin. So yeah, best blush product formula anywhere is Femme, hands down. So the next question is your greatest blush discovery of this year, and technically these came out last year, but I didn't get my grubby mitts onto them until this year, which is NARS's Dual Intensity blushes. I've got two here, which I'm holding like this. So this is Adoration, and Fervor? F-E-R-V-O-R, so I think it's Fervor. So Adoration and Fervor, and they have other shades, but these two are a much more blush tone than some of the warmer, more neutral shades they have going on. The formula of these is really nice, actually. I know that they're not like super pigmented, so it's kind of like the complete opposite of what my other blush picks are, but the finish on these are so silky. They have a sheen to them that it's not frosty or glittery, which again, NARS blushes tend to have that issue with me. So this is kind of like, oh, this is like doing this without too much shimmer or frost. So as you can see, this has got a ton of glow, which I'm pointing at here, yeah. So that's got a ton of glow, and this one has got a very subtle, more satin finish, and that's Adoration swatches. For this one, Fervor, is It's leaning more warm tones, but I do really like these shades, and I'm not sure. There we go. Get these going. Put that down. Oh, that's not enough. Again, they're kind of sheer, so. There we go. The lighter peach shade actually looks very pink on my hand, and it has more satin finish with that deeper, rustier kind of, I won't say plum, but it's more burgundy tone, has a warmer, slightly brown tone to it, but it's still got enough of that warmth and redness to it, so it still reads as a blush. Wouldn't use it too often, but I still do like the shade. It's workable for my skin, and if I'm doing a certain look, I'll probably reach for this more often, but I do really like the lighter peach shade, which, again, it's peach, but it looks pink on my skin, so those are my picks. So next is the most practical blush. I'm picking two again, one warm tone, one slightly more cool tone. And to me, these are like easy blushes. These are blushes where you don't want anything to clash at all with your makeup. So I've got two shades. The first one is Baby Doll, which is an Essence Silk Touch blush. Shade is very light. It's still pink enough that it's noticeable. It doesn't look sickly on my skin, so there's that shade right there. And the other pick I have is Clinique's Melon Pop, which is a relatively recent purchase for me as well, because I love the, not Plum Pop, I have to look at the other color, but I grabbed two and I was like, I need something a little lighter, so Melon Pop is so pretty, and I'm putting it right down. Again, this one is slightly more vibrant. It looks pinker on my skin tone compared to this, but it's, again, an easy blush to work with, so it's the most practical in my mind. Next is the least practical blush. Now, I don't consider these unwearable, but they're definitely more creative sort of colors, if you know what I mean. So they'll have their place, but they're not going to be an everyday blush for sure, and it's a couple of plum tones, like berry, plum, purple tones. So the first one is my Femme Mulberry blush. It is really cool. I do appreciate having this, but it's maybe I can work with something like this, but it's, again, it's context of what your makeup is. Is your blush going to end up being the most focal point, or will it tie something else in? And yeah, so it's very, very pink toned fuchsia almost, actually. Now that I think about it, it actually does read fuchsia, so that's the first one. And the second one is Justify My Love by Too Faced. Again, it's like kind of mauve kind of shade. It won't, yeah, I can see here, it won't really work on every skin tone. I can probably guess it would look really good if you have a warm tone, because the purple tones will cancel out. As you can see, it's a very similar shade to Mulberry. It's a little bit more lavender going on there, but it's, again, a kind of purpley tone. Good practical use, but putting on someone that's almost white as paper, it's going to be very noticeable and not necessarily work with their skin tone. And even though I have an olive skin tone, so it's starting to lean a little more pink on me, but it still reads purple, definitely. So next is the most expensive blush. Again, I'm picking two because these two are the most expensive blushes I would ever pay for, let alone price-wise. They're in the $50 range individually. So the first one is the Hourglass Ambient Blushes. Now this palette's over $60, I think, US. It's been a while since I've had it. I do really like these blushes though. They are very bridal appropriate. I'll do that. So they just glide on effortlessly. They blend in and they add a dewiness to the skin that doesn't have a lot of shimmer. So again, these blushes are very, very, very fair though. So I like them. I'm sure a lot of girls that are very Caucasian, let's put it bluntly, would like them. Anyone that's got like a medium skin tone, these would probably maybe just disappear on your skin, which is unfortunate. They do have a couple of shades that could be worked with deeper skin tones. I would like to see them come out with another blush palette that's meant for like medium to dark skin tone, because this is fair to light, definitely. There's no maybe the shade, which is like your Incandescent Electra. Might show up on skin tones, because you can see here it's quite bright. It's beautiful though. But yeah, this is very neutral, bridal appropriate. Like, you want something there, but you don't want it to take away from your texture of skin. You don't want it to be glowing. You just want it to look naturally flushed, if that's what you're going for. So my next choice for most expensive is definitely the NARS Dual Intensity blushes. These are gorgeous, but they are so expensive for just a pigment, a pressed pigment no less. And they're not like crazy pigment either, but they have that beautiful effortless texture to them, and I can see why that they're a little more expensive compared to even their regular brushes. These are more expensive. So it's that mica based formula, and this too is a mica based formula blush. So yeah, I think it justifies the price, but I wouldn't be surprised there wouldn't be more options out there that have a similar texture. And last question is least expensive. Now my first pick would be the Wet n Wild Icon blushes. They recently redid the product formula and it's even better now, so yeah. Basic compact, nothing more to it. I'm sorry I'm looking at the viewfinder, but oh my god, the texture is so good now. Like, it was good before, but now I'm just like, I like butter. This blush formula is like butter now. So beautiful, less than $5 Canadian, which is amazing because everything at least costs $5. Even the cheapest stuff costs $5 up here. So my second pick, which is actually technically not Wet n Wild, still a little out of the first place for best inexpensive / drugstore easy to get hold of blushes, as I'm holding them right here. And it's Essence Silk Touch blushes. There's 4 in store you can buy in Canada. I know they have more in the US. So good on so many levels. I'm going to do quick swatches. So the first 2 swatches I have Itches Cherry, which is this intense pink. Like, dude, strawberry pink. This will work on every skin tone, no question asked. It's really pigmented, it's really creamy to apply. It stays though once you've kind of buffed it down. Beautiful. Next I have Autumn Peaches, which is this corally. Yeah, it's definitely more of a orange tone, but it's not too orange. It's this shade down here. So that is Autumn Peach, and it's just a nice little coral flush to the skin. Next up I have Adorable, which is baby pink for sure. Again, it reads on my skin, and if you're looking for a dupe for Benefit's Havana, this is a slightly more intense version of it, so yeah, I like this one. And the last one I have is Baby Doll, which is again this slightly cooler based light pink, darker than Adorable. Adorable? Yeah, darker than Adorable. And again, it's so good. It's just so good. I can't talk anymore. It's just so good. So those are my picks for my blushes. I have too many blushes, I'm not gonna lie. Well, Femme blushes would have done me just fine for the rest of my life, but still, I'm kind of addicted to blushes because there's so many tones and nuances and they're all so pretty. So if you like this blush tag, like it, comment down below if you've got any picks or you like those same ones I do. I would love to hear that as well. Also, if you're interested in this sort of makeup tag, I'm doing 2 more. One is the highlighter tag, which you can click here, goes to here. And the contour tag, which is what I'm creating. I hope no one's created by then, but I'm all about chiseling what I don't have, which is this round, oblong shaped head. It needs more definition, girls. I'm sure you could appreciate that. Get rid of the baby face cheeks. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, or sorry, tag, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Oh, now I'm really smiling because my friend just texted me. She just got engaged. Now I just can't stop smiling.